Welcome to MELfeed.video. We are commencing a live web stream service via youtube.com from Echuca, Australia. We currently conduct these streams on Monday evenings, with other times to be added as more opportunities arise. Please visit our website MELfeed.video for further information. This web video project presents old and new community TV programs. Please enjoy your stay with MELfeed.video.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Lorraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach. So we're going to be having lots of exciting discussions about stress and managing emotional problems and mental problems and stressful problems. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
Can you tell us a little bit about your job as a stress management coach, what you actually do?
What I do is actually work from a holistic perspective. So we look at the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and also at the soul level. So, for example, sometimes people can't understand why they're doing everything right. They are doing techniques, they're doing the exercises, etc. But sometimes it's quite deep. So it could be at a soul level where they're struggling to actually get up and get moving. So, yeah.
So they're doing the right thing, they're eating the right foods,
Yes.
they're just like looking after their health, but something mentally or spiritually is not sort of clicking in.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And what are some examples of people that would come to see you?
Well, I can, one particular example which comes to mind, a guy in his late 40s and was very angry, and he couldn't understand why he was so angry.
Yeah.
Had a lot of, there was a lot of situations in his life whereby, you know, one day he just said, look, this is what's happening. He had been bullied by his dad, had 2 marriages break down, and when his third daughter was only 6 months old, his wife left and went back to England. And so he then used alcohol to cover up his pain. And basically he was known as rough and tough. Never dealt with his emotion, never dealt with the pain. It was like, oh, it's too hard. And
Like the stiff upper lip, as they say.
Yeah, stiff upper lip. No, that's the past. It's got nothing to do with the now.
Disconnected
Just
from it. Yeah.
totally disconnected. Totally... disconnected in all areas.
Yeah, and didn't want to feel.
Didn't want to
about
feel,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Didn't want to feel. And didn't want to connect with people.
Yeah.
And he was a loner, so which made it worse. And his only thing was work. So which meant he would go to work, and if someone looked at him even the wrong way, he was ready to punch them in their face.
Wow.
So the anger was, quite, people were very, very aware of his anger.
Yeah, and probably scared around him.
Yes.
He was like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then what happened? How did you help him sort of to overcome? Because this is really good. If someone that's watching is in the situation now where they're angry and they're uptight and they haven't dealt with their emotional past, and they don't want to connect with their emotional past, and they just think it's better, it's more peaceful just to cut and not even think about it, but yet it's welling up inside them. There's a lot of maybe people that might be going through that this could actually help if they're watching right now.
Yeah, I think the first thing is acknowledging what is happening, acknowledging the anger, acknowledging the pain, acknowledging, what has actually happened. Acknowledge the fact of the physical abuse that he experienced with his dad, acknowledging the loss of not seeing his little girl. And at that stage, I think she was 13.
Yeah.
And just, and to see the loss in his face of like, oh, I wonder what my little girl looks like. And being able to also connect into the fact that he was using the alcohol to numb his feelings.
Yeah.
So I think it's like everything else. Once you start to acknowledge, and you're able to then take the next step and go, okay, have an awareness. I need to do something about it.
Yeah.
And that's where he was at. It was literally saying, I need to do something about this. So I just said to him, look, there's no point talking about it unless you're willing to take action. Because he was just going around and round in circles.
What, just going around in circles and just talking about the same old thing over again? Is that what you mean by that?
Actually, I should rephrase that because what was really important was to acknowledge, yes, the pain was there, but what was he going to do about it?
Okay, so he acknowledged the pain was there. He got to the point where he thought, I can see this is pain, and he felt it again, did he? Yeah, so it would have been hard for him as well to go through that again.
And absolutely, and then it was like, I don't want to talk about this stuff. You know, this is too hard for me.
Walls come up again.
The walls kept coming up, and then through just talking and just saying, you know, like bringing awareness that a lot of men go through this, not only men, women, children, but men especially, because a lot of men feel like they're on their own. There's no one else there to support them. And when they realize that they're not alone, that this situation of being bullied, like he was also bullied as a child. He was, you know, he's a very, very gentle soul, but was badly bullied when he was a child, and whereby he was kicked so badly that his kidneys, you know, there was a malfunction with his kidneys. He was bleeding. And so then, as he says in his own words, he became the bully. And so when we can look beyond and see that whatever is present is more than just what we think it is. And so that was basically him, you know, so it was literally doing a little one step at a time, looking at, okay, where we are at, what can we do right now? And then just doing some simple breathing exercises, helping, because he was also out of his body.
Can you explain what you mean by he was out of his body for the viewers?
Okay, what happens is when people go through trauma, quite often they disassociate. And I'm sure you've been around people sometimes, you've gone, you know, like no one's home, the lights are on but no one's home. Is that when the painful triggers happen in them, it's too hard to stay present, to stay focused. And so it's easier for them to totally drift away.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So they automatically switch off when the pain's too hard for them, they'll switch off.
Yes.
That's powerful. It's good. It's good to be able to articulate these kind of things for people. And so then what's the next step when they get to that stage?
And one of the steps that I use is just breathing, bringing the person back into the body. And on saying that, I mean, I'll share personal experience. For me, quite often that used to happen when I first started my journey. And so because of that, I was able to recognize that I needed to come back into my body, meaning I needed to associate back in, be present. And that's what breathing does, brings you in, so you're into the present, and you're able to then articulate what's happening. Not necessarily straight away, but through...
Oh, well, we'll go to a break now. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit further about it. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
Shown how to sort of come back, how to feel more at peace with myself, come back into my body, feel settled, feel grounded, and to be able to have the awareness of when I was out of it. You know, sometimes there would be things that would be triggered. And through that process, knowing that, ooh, I need to stop for a second, I need to breathe. And through that process, which was, you know, sometimes one step forward, 10 steps back, but it was a process where I was able to bring myself into a center, bring myself into a place of peace, and from that place then make different decisions. And from that place knowing that I was able to not fall into those same patterns. I didn't have to disassociate. I was able to then go, oh, okay, this is causing me a little bit of anxiety here. I can feel my anxiety and go, okay, I can do something different this time. So that was a learning process for me as well. And so that's why now I think quite often I can actually see things before they happen in others as well, because I've been through that process myself. And I think that's why the results are really very positive.
Yeah.
Because I'm not using it from a textbook. It's my own personal journey of having gone through 15 major traumas, one after the other, which was like a domino effect.
God.
And I'm so grateful to God that today, I can give praise and glory to Him that I'm still here.
And how do you think you managed to get through it? Was it just through prayer? Was that the most important part that got you through it?
Definitely through prayer, but also through talking to different people, as in going to different counselors as well. And from that place, being able to look at what worked, what didn't work, what was missing. And because what was happening for me through the traumas was more at a deeper soul level. And this is why so many people at the moment are who come to see me are like saying, look, I can't understand. There's simple things where they were so articulate are not able to be articulate. They were going to, in a way, going through the dark night of the soul, where everything that was familiar was becoming unfamiliar. And being able to get a handle on it sometimes, and just knowing that part of this process is just 1 second at a time, 1 moment at a time, for that's all there is.
And sometimes I guess these people as well, and when they're going through this, everybody needs someone just to be loving and listening to them without judgment, so that they can speak freely, and then they can accept their situation or deal with their situation. What would you say about that?
It is so true, because in that process also too, where I knew there were a lot of people who were around me who were also professional people, a lot of my friends, but they didn't understand my journey at the time. So there was that aloneness in that, because it wasn't just something in the head. It wasn't like, use this technique and you can switch. And I did heaps of technology, NLP, hypnosis, all sorts of different things. But it wasn't about that. It was about being still and allowing things to unfold in divine timing. So, and which is very difficult for the mind to come to terms with, because we want everything done yesterday, and it's that struggle. It's like, but why not? I could do this. And suddenly realizing I couldn't even make a salad. So it was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So you must have had a big shift then.
It was.
And it was coming to the acknowledgement of doing everything happens in divine time. Was that the thing that gave you the peace and that let things unravel in the right time?
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that was there very much present was the fact of God's love, just love that was fully present. And knowing that through love, nothing is impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like love covers everything, because love is, because a lot of the time there's a lot of these things happen with people when we don't forgive. We have to forgive, because forgiveness is so powerful. Like it even says that in the Bible, that you need to forgive, and you'll be judged on the way you forgive others. You know, all of that, isn't it? It's all part of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that when we're talking about forgiveness too, and is that sometimes we can forgive in our head, but we haven't released it from our mind, our body, our spirit, and our soul, and hence then things are recreated.
Yeah.
And that's when you go like, how come I've forgiven that? Why am I recreating these situations? But when we can give from the core of our soul and see every single person who comes into our life as a gift, it becomes a totally new game.
Wow.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so what happened with this guy that you worked with?
I was just going to say that, and I thought, I just... And the most amazing thing is the miracles that's happened as he so slowly, he made the commitment. And I really honor and salute the divinity in him. Because he made the commitment to keep chipping away. I think he was like a Michelangelo, chipping away little at a time, little at a time. And he went back to England, made peace with his father, and his father's partner's wife actually said to him, that was one of the greatest days.
Oh, that's
because
beautiful. We'll have to go to a break, but we'll continue with what happened to him after the break. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
It's barbie season, so it's time for a barbecue safety check. Clean away any grease build-up. Swap systems assure that the bottle inspection is in date. The bottle should be upright and not hanging by the hose. And make sure your regulator and hose is undamaged, unblocked and unkinked. Check connections using soapy water. When done, turn off clockwise at the bottle first. A quick barbie and gas safety check always means a safe and enjoyable summer.
This bank is helping to save lives. Every year, 500,000 Victorians have no idea where their next meal is coming from. Food Bank Victoria works with farmers, supermarkets and manufacturers to make sure their surplus stock ends up here to be distributed to those in need. But all of this is not enough. Right now, this bank needs interest, your interest, to support Victorians in need. If you can help, visit foodbankvictoria.org.au.
We reckon one of the most powerful things in the world is this sausage. Because a sausage can do just about anything. It helps people to walk, see and hear, supports families after fire, drought and flood, and even helps plant trees in our community. Our sausages are working to cure cancer, helping farmers in tough times and connecting people who are new to a community. And at the same time that they're doing all that, they're nurturing the leaders of tomorrow while building friendships that last a lifetime. Yep, these humble sausages are more powerful than you can believe. They're working wonders in our community. And at Lions, so can you. Lions Australia, we serve more than sausages.
If you choose to drink then drive,
you could ruin lives.
Someone else's,
your family's,
or your own.
Choose not to instead.
The right choice could save someone's life.
Proud supporters of safety in our community.
GMCU and Southern Cross Austereo.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Lorraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach. Welcome back to the program. Thanks. Now we're talking about one of the people that came to see you, and he had a lot of anger issues in the beginning and a lot of resentment and hostility towards people and unforgiveness, and it was causing a lot of problems for him. But we're talking now, he actually made a huge turnaround through just slowly chipping away, as you said. Can you continue on the story with him?
Yes, because what happened, did a lot of forgiveness work, worked with the mind, so looking at thoughts that he was choosing towards his father and to other people as well. So we worked mentally. We also looked at the emotional level, what was coming up, worked with that as well. Looked on the physical level, what was happening within him, what was the anxieties that was coming up. So worked from the anxiety point of it and also from a spiritual point of it. And just looking, so each of that, by working and then bringing in the forgiveness, had an amazing impact. And when he went back to England, and knocked on his, I think knocked on the door of where his dad was living. His dad was like so amazed. And to be able to then sit down, and he said to his dad, I've always wanted to go to the pub and have a meal with you, have a drink together. And they went and they talked and talked and talked. And it was a turning point, not only for him, apparently his dad cried and cried the next after he had left. And it's been a process, and like now he still talks to his dad, and like for an hour and maybe even more at a time. And recently he's just come back from another trip, which was just 2 months ago. He also took his children and grandchildren to see his dad. And one of his proud moments is that they have 4 generations with his dad. And his dad is so happy, just knowing that my client had the guts to say, Dad, I didn't like what happened, but I forgive you, and just the peace that's come in this family is just so remarkable. It just shows that where love is present, love changes everything. And love conquers everything. And with love, nothing is impossible. And sometimes it means reaching out, like he did, reaching out and to the perpetrators and saying, It's okay, you've done this. I can't change anything that's happened. But in this present moment, I want to reach out and say, I love you. Thank you for being my dad. I love you. And just the miracles that's happened in this family have been unbelievable. And it's so exciting.
Wow. Because it is true. It's like even in today's gospel, they were saying, love your enemy. Like,
Absolutely.
do good to those who hate you. If they hit you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. God is saying something in that. He wants us just to love, continue to love.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, because there's a power in there. And
Yes.
that's just proven it with that story.
Yes. And love conquers everything. And, you know, through the power of love, I think there's nothing that cannot be accomplished.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, here he held this for 13. I mean, no, he hadn't spoken to his dad for 25 years before that.
Oh, my gosh.
Before that, when he first
Wow.
went back, I think would have been back in 2002.
Gee, that's
After
wow.
25 years. And he would say, you know, if his dad was walking on this side of the road, he'll cross to the other side. And like to now see he'd gone back just in this recent trip 2 months ago, and to be able to, you know, spoke to his dad every single day, and it's
Do you
just
know
lovely.
what the point was that made him decide that he actually wanted to improve his situation? What was the trigger?
The trigger is he realized he was the one suffering.
Right.
Yeah. He was suffering, and he was blaming everyone else for why his life wasn't working.
Yeah.
And also, too, he hadn't seen his little girl after 13 years.
Oh, gosh,
Yes.
yeah.
So he went back and met his little girl after 13 years, but also made peace with his ex-wives.
Yeah.
And recently
Ex-wives,
went,
two of them.
ex-wives,
Oh,
yes.
okay, yeah.
And he recently went back for his daughter's wedding.
Oh, wow.
So, and I was
Gee.
just, truly amazing.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Because he was ready to receive. I mean,
Yes.
there might be people still walking around like that are full with anger and they're not talking to people for 25 years in their family, but they're not ready to open. And he, at that moment, he was ready to open to you and receive the goodness and the help.
I think one of the questions I always said to him, if this was the last day to live, what would he do differently? Because we never ever know.
Yeah. Exactly.
When is the last day?
Exactly.
And this wonderful thing that says never ever go to bed angry.
Yeah.
And if we can sometimes choose to rise above our ego and say we're sorry, even when we haven't done anything wrong, it really moves mountains.
Yeah. Because it brings the peace back. Even if you're the one who hasn't caused it and you weren't the one that was angry, you weren't the one with a mental problem. And someone's crazy, they're like, but if you're the one that makes them laugh or makes peace again, then there's peace back there. I guess it doesn't matter who does it, as long as the peace comes back, isn't it?
Yes. It's so true.
Yeah. It's like if there's no put love there. If it's not there, put it there so we can all enjoy it.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter who puts the love there, let's just have it there all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like the power is like in seeing Jesus in the other person. You know, if you do that, then who knows what can happen next.
Just miracles. Honestly, miracles happens when you're able to see Christ in each and every one. Miracles unfold.
Wow. And how did he find you through this work?
He found me through someone who had worked with me previously.
As well, like word of mouth.
Yeah, it was just word of mouth.
Because you do work as well with priests as
Yes,
well,
I
like
do.
professionals and everything. Lots of people. It's a wonderful job you're doing. I mean, you're changing people's lives. You're literally bringing families back together.
Well, I just feel so grateful to have that honor, really, and I'm so grateful for what God has done in my life.
Yeah.
So if there's something little I can give back,
Isn't that beautiful? So you've been healed of all the things, and now you want to give back and help show the way to all the other people. That's wonderful. We're running out of time now, but would you like to come back next week for the program?
I'd love to.
Beautiful. All right, well, thank you for coming on the program, Lorraine. You've been watching NAT Chat. I'm Morella Rich, and our guest was Lorraine Matthews. See you again next week.
Sarah. I'm going to order some pathology tests to see how everything's going.
Half the Australian population had a pathology test last year. That's you or someone you love. 100 tests are performed every minute, delivering vital medical information. From the moment you are born, your healthcare depends on pathology tests. 70% of medical decisions rely on information from pathology tests. Pathology is the engine room of healthcare. One small sample can reveal millions of insights all about you. Pathologists are your doctor's doctor. 25,000 people work to provide doctors with the answers they need to treat you. Australian pathology is world class. We may never meet you, but we see each of you as part of our family. Every minute, 23 Australians find out more about their health.
Good news, Sarah. The results show that everything's okay.
Pathology provides peace of mind.
I rely on Australian pathology.
Sign up online to support Australian pathology.
It's always been my dream to represent Australia in the Olympics. Epilepsy affects nearly 250,000 Australians. Like me, most people have their seizures controlled with medication. Even today, people with epilepsy face incredible discrimination, but this prejudice is just another obstacle we can overcome. We're just as capable as anyone else, and often we have to be stronger. I promise I'll do my best for Australia. Will you do your best for me?
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Lorraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach, and she's also working on 2 books. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
Welcome back, because you came here last week. Can you tell us a bit about the books that you've been working on?
My first book was called Stop Running, Start Living Now, and that was actually done just after my mum. It all came about actually when Mum died, and that was back in 1996. And when I was doing the eulogy for her, had this real clear message about writing a book on living in the moment. And at the time I thought, oh yeah, that's a piece of cake, I can do it. Didn't realize I was so full in my ego. But to be at peace and to live in the moment, I realized I needed to be at peace, which meant forgiving myself and also forgiving other people around me. And also asking, obviously, forgiveness of others whom I may have hurt. And that's how, so it took up time to write that, and I did self-publish it back in 2001, and I put it back in the shelf because I wanted, what was really important for me was to walk my talk. At the time I wrote it, it was a great idea. It was, it has helped quite a lot of people. But I felt there was quite a lot of things in there that I needed to be really strong about and know that I was able to walk it. And I wanted to be able to know I was at peace with myself regardless of what situations presented. So,
and how do you reach that?
Was again just being aware of when I'm out of center, being aware of the triggers and recognizing I have a choice. I can choose to come from a loving space, or I can choose to come out of fear. And so when I choose to come out of a loving space, then each day, each moment, I can choose differently, and I can really choose to see love's presence. And one of the things that really helps me a lot is recognizing what if this was the last day I had to live on this planet? How would I want to leave it? And that really helps me to come back and be at peace and recognize I have the power within me to change my thoughts, to change my thinking. And I can choose to come from a loving space as against a place of judgment. And sometimes I do that very well too. But being able to shift from that place of judgment to go, hang on a second, I can choose to do this differently. And sometimes it's challenging.
Would you say that's something under the banner? You know how we're all given free will? So we are given the free will to choose to love or to hate.
Yes.
It's our choice. God hasn't told us. He's told us what He wants us to do. In the Bible, He's told us that. But it's up to us to love, or to be happy, even to choose to be happy or to be miserable. You know, it's a choice in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And each moment we can choose how we want that moment to be. Because this present moment is how our future is. So when we spend time in focusing on what's not working, then we'll create more of that. Whereas when we can choose and say, hang on a second, I can shift right here, right now, how I perceive things to be, how I want things to be. Things change. And the main thing is we cannot change another person. And I love what Gandhi says, you know, be the change you want to see in the world. And quite often, like, clients come to me and they think, oh, my husband's like this or my wife's like this. And I say, you know, that's great. But the thing is, you're here for you, because we cannot change somebody else. But I said, when you change, miracles happen. And I remember my client saying, you know, are you serious about that? I said, absolutely. And I guarantee you that. I say, because when we choose to look at life differently and we take steps to take care of ourselves and look at what is it within us that we don't like? What is it that we're angry about? What is it that we're blaming others? And when we can take responsibility and say, can't change them, but I can change myself. I can change how I act, how I react to the situation. So when we come from that place, then life becomes so much easier. And the miracles that have happened, and I one particular client when I can look at, where she said, oh, do you know, we haven't been on a holiday, my whole body is aching, I have all this anger around my mum and dad, and, you know, things are not going well, and we said, okay, let's start with you, and we started the process, and again, one at a time, we just kept looking at one little area at a time. And as we started to do that, she noticed the changes. And one of the things she says, do you know, it's really funny, my husband says I'm easy to be around now. She says that she wasn't as, her husband noticed that she wasn't as grumpy. She was more at ease.
And what did she do that was different?
She was just happier in herself. She was actually willing to let go of wanting him to act and be in a certain way. And so she started taking responsibility and going, how can I do this differently? So there were simple little steps and that she was putting into place. And also the part of the gratitude journal. Focusing on the good things that was in the marriage rather than complaining on what wasn't there.
So instead of complaining about what wasn't working, think about what is working.
What is working. Focus on what is working. And as we focus on what is working, it just increases. And miracles were happening. And she was like, wow, her health was getting better. Like, she was in pain. Her body started to, you know, she went back to a doctor 3 months later, and the doctor couldn't recognize her. He says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Because her attitude shifted. She wasn't looking down and going, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. She started to look up and going, wow, I'm alive. You know, I'm grateful. I have my eyes, I have my ears, I have simple things.
That's beautiful. Well, we have to go to a break now, but we'll continue on that. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
I'm able to dream, I'm able to smile, I'm able to grow, and I'll go the extra mile, one day at a time. So put your hands together, we can change lives forever. Together, we're able.
Able Australia. Together, we're able.
Sport is for everyone.
No matter who you are or where you're from.
There's no place for discrimination in sport.
And everyone should feel welcome, safe,
respected and get a fair go.
Whether you're a player, a spectator, a coach or an official.
What do you want from your sport?
Are you ready to make a difference?
Sport is for everyone.
And everyone starts with you.
Keep your sport inclusive,
safe, fair and fun.
For more information, go to playbytherules.net.au.
Are you playing renovation roulette? I'm John Jarrett.
Now I know that deadly asbestos lies hidden in 1/3 of Aussie homes.
It can be found in any home built or renovated before 1987. Lurking in walls, under floor covering, behind tiles, in roofing. Asbestos, it was used everywhere. So if you're a renovator or a tradie, you could be risking your life and the lives of others. Remember, go slow. Asbestos, it's a no-go. Visit asbestosawareness.com.au to learn what you need to know.
Northern Access Television will turn 30 in 2020. We are planning a celebration night with a book and a special TV show about our history. If you're a past member or a volunteer of NAT, we would love to hear from you. For more details, visit the website nat30years.info and find out how you can help celebrate 30 years of media for the community. The 30th anniversary of Northern Access Television. Let's celebrate in 2020.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Our guest is Lorraine Matthews, if you've just joined us, and she is a stress management coach. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
And it's interesting, like in like psychology and stress management and all that, a lot of the things actually they talk about, like being thankful, like writing a grateful journal and having... Just a lot of the things also come from the Bible. Like I'll just read something here from the Bible. It says, Colossians 3:12-17, we are to be clothed in heartfelt compassion, to be generous, humble, gentle and patient. We are to bear with one another, forgive each other if one of you has a complaint against another. Over all these clothes put on love, the perfect bond. And always be thankful. And it's just, there's a lot of this is actually used in psychology. I don't know so much about how much they say about forgiveness and stuff, but forgiveness frees you as well. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So what would you like to say about that?
Oh, definitely. Forgiveness is the key to happiness because I feel when we forgive, and one of the things that I tend to do on a daily basis is forgiveness. For myself and for others, that sometimes, there might have been a judgment I might have passed or whatever. And just even releasing that and letting it go, it is so freeing. And when we forgive, our bodies also shift because we don't have to carry the anger, the hate, the resentment in our bodies. We can release it and let it go. And
that's beautifully said. Yeah.
And it's coming back to what I was sharing with you a little earlier about the client whose body was in agony.
Yeah.
And as she started to forgive, little by little, the pain ceased. And she was able to, her medication changed. They were able to do different things, and she was able to walk, she was able to move, because there was so much anger, hurt, resentment that was built up. And she didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
And some of it had come from as a little child.
Wouldn't you say she was able to move? Wasn't she able to move before?
She was moving, but in a lot of pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She wasn't able to, for example, sit down and get out of her chair. And she wasn't old. She was only in her late 40s.
Yeah.
So she wasn't old.
Yeah, no.
And just holding on. She didn't even know that was locked in her body.
Yeah.
So being able to shift that
That's
from
beautiful.
her body made a difference.
And it says also always be thankful. Like if we are, rather than focusing on the negative, be thankful of what we've got. I remember I used to go to this health farm, and that wasn't religious at all, but they used to run it, and they used to say prayers before. They used to say prayers to, I don't know, the Creator and Mother Earth. It was like that. They sort of hold hands and they say, but they would say thank you for everything before they ate. But they would thank everything from the morning till lunchtime, what happened. And then from lunchtime to dinner, when dinner's time, you know, they'd thank. I thought, gee, this is such a beautiful way to be.
Yes.
You're just thanking and thanking.
Absolutely. And even I think you might have seen, you know, like the scientific studies of water, when you say thank you to the water and how it affects our body. And just thank you shifts our vibrations, shifts us out of a negative space into feeling lighter, happier, more at peace.
So it literally affects the environment.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Water, it actually they've scientifically proven it changes.
Yes.
It's amazing. And then there's another part that says teach each other and guide each other in all wisdom. So you know, that's another thing we can do as well. We can just, when we, like you've just done, you've just learnt through all your hard times the wisdom, and now you're guiding the others through it. I think that's magnificent. So you've gone through it, so they can relate to you, people can relate to you, and they can say, oh, okay, she's been through it, she knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the best help.
And it makes a difference too, because you can always tell when someone hasn't gone through it, because they're thinking like, okay.
Yeah.
Because when you've gone through it, you know the struggles, the challenges, and how sometimes it's very difficult to even stay focused on being grateful.
Yeah.
But knowing that just by just shifting a little bit, you feel so much better. And it could be just doing one little thing.
Yeah.
It could be, say, for example, you have housework and you think, I can't be bothered. And you go, okay, what's the tiniest little thing that I can do? And then the minute you get up and start doing that, you think, oh, I can do the next little job and the next one. And before you know it, you're feeling better because there's movement.
Yeah.
When there's movement, we're always moving forward.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a Buddhist thing where it says, you know, nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
Because everything is impermanent.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
You know, and when we are able to be in the flow of life, we're able to embrace, we're able to bring in and accept what's not working in that moment.
Yeah.
What we might perceive as not working, but from a bigger picture, we can look at from a creator's perspective, it's all perfect.
Yeah.
And I know someone's going to say, how can you say the things that are really not working right now is perfect? Because in the bigger picture, it is all perfect.
Yeah.
Because when we look back, and we look back with gratitude, we go, wow, because of that, what happened back then has given the wisdom to now. I mean, like perfect example, what you were saying, the wisdom that I gained from everything. I would not change a second.
Yeah.
Because it's been, yes, challenging, but at the same time so enlightening. You know, because it's that hope, it's being able to see again the presence of love in everything.
That's beautiful. So it's like all the darkness and the bad things you went through isn't just in vain, and it isn't just for the sake of, you know, letting... I remember this priest, when I had my accident, he came into the hospital and he said to me, he was from the Vatican actually too, and he said to me, you can have suffering, but if you're just in your suffering, you're just in hell. But if you love in your suffering, you can transform the suffering into gold, like rich gold. Like, imagine that, like you can just transform everything around you if you love in suffering, because you're suffering, but that love is so much more powerful when you love through it.
Yes.
Because it's costing you. Blood, sweat and tears. That's why it's so important to love, because it's love. It's good to love when you're not suffering. It's good to love when you are suffering. It's just such a powerful force.
Yeah, and love transcends the physical love. The wanting someone to love you in a certain way. Love is far greater, and it transcends all religions. It transcends everything, because the essence of our being is love.
And everyone and every animal can relate to it.
Yeah.
And every living thing.
Absolutely. And love is all there is, really, when we think of it, because love changes everything.
There's a few songs there, I heard. We've got to go to a break now. You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
time we buy certified organic, we're making a choice to help our environment and build a healthier community. But it can be hard to know that what we're buying is truly organic. The Australian Certified Organic logo is only given to products after a very rigorous process. So when you see this logo, it means you can trust that there are no genetically modified foods, no animal cruelty, and no harsh synthetic pesticides used. A healthier community is always better for our future. So the next time you shop, look for this logo.
If a man's home is his castle, his shed is his kingdom. It's a place men can hang out with a few mates, build a few things, even if you haven't before, and give back to the community. No man should be without a shed. The Australian Men's Shed Association is working to provide a shed for all Australian men, and they have over 400 already. Visit your local shed, build your community, and make a difference. Find a shed near you. It's time to give back.
Joy, well-being, community, inclusion.
Special Olympics is a global movement for people with an intellectual disability, creating a world of inclusion and community through sport, where every person is accepted and welcomed, regardless of ability. One athlete, one volunteer, one family member at a time, helping to make the world a better place. Join the inclusion revolution by supporting Special Olympics.
And choose to include.
Tick, 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 fashion.
Tick, 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 fun.
Tick, 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 food.
Tick, 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 festivals.
All make up 15 fabulous minutes.
In a half-hour special.
Presented to you by Jacqueline and Steve.
Every week. Time's up.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Lorraine Matthews, who is a stress management coach. Welcome back to the program, Lorraine.
Thanks, Mirella.
Can you tell us a little bit also about the way you run workshops? Because we were talking a little bit off camera about some of the things you do, like laughter, relaxation, and I've heard a lot about laughter being so powerful. Just let us know what you've got to say on it.
Oh, laughter's the best medicine.
Yeah.
And it's really true, because when you laugh, you're also shifting how you feel. So it's great. So if someone's feeling really down and they start to laugh, they definitely, or watch, good movies that really makes them laugh, it shifts the state of being. So you can move out of feeling really down and melancholy to suddenly going, feeling uplifted, being able to do something different. And laughter really helps, and I use a lot of laughter in my work, being able to get even people to feel what's happening in them, and then we'll do something funny to get them to laugh about it, and so they can actually go, oh my gosh, that's really, they can take something and look at it and go like, oh, you're really serious, it's nothing. So to be able to laugh at it and recognize how just even laughing just helps to ease the pain.
Yeah, it's like a relaxant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've heard of, do you run workshops, like laughter workshops as well?
Do
you?
I do. Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I do run laughter workshops.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I saw a segment on one of the morning shows and they did like a little story on this man from India, I think, and then he lived in America and he was running laughter workshops and they filmed all the people and it was hilarious, but it was brilliant.
Yes.
And he said he used to laugh even in different times in his life, wherever he was, like throughout the day, like on a train.
Yeah.
And she said, well, how do you laugh on a train? And he goes, oh, I do the pigeon laugh. And he was practicing, show all these crazy laughs. But he was brilliant. It was just brilliant. Yeah. I'm 100% for all that. So tell us about the laughter workshops.
Well, the laughter workshops is basically getting people to relax and have fun and laugh at the silliest things. Yeah. It's like, just even laughing at, you've got a bill and you can just rip it up. I mean, just laughing at how simple it is.
Yeah.
And laughing to recognize that at the end of the day, you can pay it. But it's being able to laugh through it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I might not explain it as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. We used to, as a child, I used to always play these games. Well, we used to just play the laughing game. And we would just, my friend and I from primary school, she would laugh and I would laugh. And we just have to laugh to get each other laughing. We go, and then we wouldn't stop. And we'd go, my mum would go, stop it. We'd just go cry. You couldn't stop laughing. And even with my own child as well, I do this sort of game where we take jokes and pretend to say funny things, and we laugh at each other's jokes really, really loud, and then it ends up really coming out with good jokes. We both do. So it's a good method.
And we even do, like, as you were saying, just the silent laughter. So we just do the
oh, you do.
And you then get everyone suddenly starts to laugh. So
it's so healthy. And how do they feel by the end of the class?
Love it. Love it. Yeah, absolutely love.
Because it lifts the spirits, doesn't it?
It does, And that's when we do the laughter. We also do the meditation. The meditation's a relaxation of connecting into at a deeper level. So it's not just about wanting to know if you're doing it right, but just allowing your soul to just relax and embrace.
And it's also beautiful to watch people laugh, like really laugh from the heart.
Yes.
Not like a cynical laugh or something nasty or anything, but really laughing with a joyous heart. You know, it's just beautiful to see that in people.
Yes.
Even like when you watch comedy shows and you see the audience laughing and they're really laughing, really from the heart, if there's something decent.
I think laughter is very contagious. So once you start laughing, you can't stop. And people, I know sometimes I've been in a restaurant and I'll just maybe crack up laughing. It could be something. And everyone's going like, wow, that's so contagious. And they're all starting to laugh. And it's just having, I think it's just coming from, as you said, from the heart. It's not a fake laughter. And, because I must admit, there was sometimes I've been in a laugh and I'm like, oh, that's so fake. They say fake it till you make it. But sometimes it doesn't, that's not coming from at a core soul level. But when you're really laughing at the core of your soul, it's so different.
Oh, that's so gorgeous.
And very, you actually feel lighter, you feel better, and you shift very quickly out of situations.
It's beautiful. And I think funny people that make people laugh have got such a gift as well. It's a really beautiful talent to have. There's a lot of people out there who really are funny, like in TV as well. They're really funny.
And I think the good thing with laughter too is that you don't have to be a comedian.
No,
I'm definitely not a comedian, but I can have a good laugh.
Absolutely.
And I love laughing. And quite often people have said to me, we should bottle your laughter.
Oh, so beautiful. I know you do have a good laugh. I heard the first time I spoke to you on the phone, I think, oh, that's beautiful. No, it is. It's so important to laugh, and it makes other people happy as well. It's not like the world's not all doom and gloom,
No.
We've got to laugh. We've got to live. We've got our lives to live. Let's live it to the full. In love and happiness and laughter and
very true.
in all healthy things. Health brings laughter. Health brings life and energy. And, lots of good things. Just looking over there at Nina, trying to make me laugh off camera. So also I was going to say something from the Bible. It says, I say to you who are listening, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who treat you badly. Isn't that interesting? It's like just to do all of that. It's like, because people are always like wanting a vengeance and revenge and all this kind of thing, but it doesn't work. It doesn't pay off in the long run, does it?
It doesn't. And when we bless people every day, it's amazing what happens. We feel better. And when we can see good in each and every one, just seeing beyond, recognizing the bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit.
And our rewards will be greater in heaven. Like if we just give, we don't have to say, oh, I'm only giving you this because you're going to give it back to me. But if you give sometimes freely without expecting anything back, the look on people's faces is like they're so shocked that anyone would just give them something, for nothing, without expecting back. And that's how we're meant to live, because we'll get it all back in the end. And that's how we spread love, Keep the cogs of the wheels going. Everybody's got to do their part, lift their cog in love, and we'll soon have a really happy world.
And also to something very simple to give away each and every day is a smile. It costs us nothing.
Yeah.
And when we give a smile to people, You know, sometimes they'll be looking down and then they go, oh, someone smiled at
Yeah.
me. At first they're hesitant, but when you smile, you're able to connect to their soul and they've gone, oh, someone smiled.
That's beautiful. Thanks so much for coming on the
You're
program. You've been watching NAT Chat. I hope you enjoyed the program. I'm Mirella Rich and our guest was Lorraine Matthews. See you again soon.
Get active, get social, get on a roll. For more info, visit skateaustralia.org.au.
Performance Poetry comes your way with Red Lobster every Monday night at 9:30. Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
Alleluia. Om Mani Padme. Om Allah.
Welcome. You're watching Harmony in Diversity. And today we're speaking with Dr. Malik Muhammad Majoka. He's a general practitioner and an office bearer in the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Australia Victorian chapter. He's also a refugee from Pakistan. So what we'll investigate with you, Malik, is that story. Let's start with, as you do with stories, at the beginning. How was it for you in Pakistan? You're an Ahmadiyya from birth.
Yeah, thank you, Noam. Thank you for inviting me here today. I was Ahmadi by birth. My three generation before, like in around early 90s, 1992 or 3. My grandfather, he accepted the faith, and I was born Ahmadi here. And as if I date back, atrocities and ill treatment, injustice and hatred against Ahmadiyya Muslims in Pakistan, even that doesn't start from my childhood. When my father was, he was a teacher. When he was in a teacher training school in 1953, riots erupted and the movement started against Ahmadi, and he had to flee from he fled from the school, and he was forced out of the school, and he got refuge in one of his friend's house. And he used to tell me that. And same thing started with me. I was born in a little village in Punjab, and I can remember, and those things still hurts me. The boys and even teachers, what they used to say and abuse Ahmadis and say things which hurts us, and we had to listen and can't do much, can't stop them. Young children, how can they stand in front of a teacher to requesting him, don't say this, that hurts me, but they kept doing that always.
So even at that level,
But the teachers, I can remember my teachers' faces and their names. It's not useful to tell their names, but they used to abuse in the classrooms, so that still hurts. Then I remember mullahs, they go to my village, they had a gathering, annual gathering, openly abuse Ahmadiyya Muslims, and the founder of the faith, taking his name and calling him different names and derogate him, and that still hurts. And I can remember I used to think, why my family is Ahmadi, why we're Ahmadi Muslims. We have the same faith, we believe in Allah, we believe in Holy Prophet, we do prayers, and my mother and my elder teacher teaching me Quran and learning the meaning of Quran, and we were good Muslims. And my community member, they go to Makkah for Hajj. Still they say that you are not Muslims, and they abuse us. Why? So I'm Ahmadi, and so it's so hurtful.
Yes.
And at some stage when I was in year 8, 9, then my father moved to town for giving us providing us the better education. So I did my year 10 and then year 12. Luckily, I was lucky. I performed very well, and I got admission in medical college. That is not a very pleasant time. You know, everyone has got very good pleasant times in unis, and I had a good time, but a lot of sad stories as well. But I can share you just one thing, you can understand what happened there. At some stage in 1977, after the Ahmadis were declared non-Muslim for the law, for the purpose of law, and our assembly made it law that Ahmadis are non-Muslim. After that was series of atrocities which happened with the Ahmadi Muslims in Pakistan. At that time, I was in a medical college, living in a hostel, and other students, majority of Muslim students, they were not concerned about Hindu students, not concerned about Christian students. They put a restriction against Ahmadi students that they can't enter the dining hall and can't sit and eat there with other students in the same utensils. So we were forced to eat in our rooms separately in separate utensils. And the servant will come and put the food in our room and we eat there. So such things there, like I am one who belongs to a tribe or to a family, has always lived there, maybe for thousands of years, and my forefathers, they changed their faith from maybe Hindu religion to Muslims. We belong to that soil.
Yes.
And I was treated in that way. Like that time passed, and I did my graduation, started working as a doctor, and I chose to start working in the public system. I was a medical officer in different hospitals. But these things never stopped. I was in a town level hospital in Pakistan, and there were always speeches and announcements against Ahmadis and provocating speeches personally against me, telling people don't go to this doctor, he is Ahmadi, they say us Qadiani as well, so don't go to him. If you give him fee or money, then he will use that money against Muslims, against other people of their faith. So that these are very, I don't think everybody can realize that can happen.
No.
Then there was a big movement against me, and a lot of allegations, and the main allegation was that I was preaching my faith in Pakistan, and then they registered a case with the help of administration, assistant commissioner and the magistrate and all those people, and police registered a case against me. under Section 298C, which is the section of law that if an Ahmadi says himself a Muslim or he tell other people about his faith, that is offense. Because that hurts Muslims, then is punishable for 3 years in jail. So initially that case was registered and I was arrested the next day. And then I remained in a police station for a week, and then I was transferred to a district jail, and no one was taken in. Magistrates, civil judges, session judge, no one was taking my bail. Though
we might just hold it there. We'll give you bail for the moment. We'll just go.
Thank you.
We'll go to a break. We'll see you in a moment.
We always liked to play chess together ever since we were little. He was always a better player than me. When I was diagnosed with Pompe's disease in 2002, I was told that my life expectancy was going to be poor, and my condition deteriorated rapidly before I was able to start treatment. My brother and I both suffered from the disease. But now I consider myself the fortunate one. My brother spent the last 2 years of his life in hospital. He didn't have access to this wonderful treatment that should be available to everybody. The world just keeps getting smaller as you progressively lose the ability to walk. So your world shrinks, and then gradually you realise, I haven't been to the supermarket in 6 months. I'm 59 now, and every year I can see my daughter grow up is a blessing. I believe my treatment's made this possible.
To learn more and help those living with Pompe's disease, register at australianpompe.com.
If you were living on the streets, wouldn't you want more than just your best friend to keep you safe, warm and dry? Donate to Backpack Bed for Homeless and give warm, waterproof protection and dignity tonight. Call 1300 OzHelp.
I was in my 40s when I was first diagnosed with bowel cancer. George, my son, was 6 years old at that time. These days, like people of his age, he's very busy, but he still needs to find the time to get to know his bowel cancer risk. Is that right, George?
Yes, Dad. Bowel cancer affects 1 in 12 Australians, young and old, and is our second biggest cancer killer. But if caught early, bowel cancer is treatable and beatable. My dad is living proof of that. So get to know your bowel cancer risk. Talk to your pharmacist or GP about screening. Protect yourself and the ones you love. Go to lovemyfamily.org.au.
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and we're speaking with Dr. Malik Muhammad Majoka, and he's a general practitioner and an office bearer with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Australia Victorian chapter, and he's describing his refugee experience. Malik, you were at the point of saying that you were denied bail after having been...
Yeah, I was telling that this 298C is a bailable offence, but my bail wasn't granted bail. Again, it was injustice and ill treatment because I was Ahmadi. And magistrates refused the bail and sent me to jail on judicial remand. Then bail application was moved to civil judge, and he refused to listen to that for his personal reasons. I don't know, still it's written in the decision that on personal reason I don't want to listen to this bail application. I spent around 18 days in jail, and at the end what they did, as they saw that now maybe the session judge will grant him bail, they added another offense, which is a very devastating thing. They added section 295C to my allegations, which means that's a blasphemy law.
Yes.
That I derogated, I insulted Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which I can't do it. I love Holy Prophet. That's part of my faith. How can I abuse Holy Prophet?
Yes.
But that was added. Sorry.
No, it's upsetting, because if you believe your faith at sufficient depth, as you obviously do.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad is my life. I love him the most in the world. And that was allegation. I derogated him. I insulted him. And that was to stop my bail application. Really? So that's unbailable offense, punishable only with death. There's no other punishment in Pakistan. That's 295C.
Yes.
There was a very good session judge. I was fortunate. He took my bail, saying that this offense doesn't seem likely in this case. The case originally was registered as a preaching, and that's bailable offense. And this further it will be decided later on whether this 295C is a likely offense or not in this case. So he granted me bail. But they went in High Court to get that bail cancelled. But fortunately, High Court confirmed the bail. Saying again saying the same thing. It's unlikely that this case doesn't attract that 295C. Then the case started in the court of additional session judge, and we applied there, requested there to remove section 295C from this case. Preaching, that's fine. They have evidence and everything, so we can do that. After hearing for 1.5 years, that additional session judge refused, and he said, no, you will be tried under 295C. But as High Court granted me bail, saying that this bail will not be cancelled unless the High Court decide otherwise. So I was remained on bail, but 5 or 6 long years, every 15th day I had to go to the court and the same proceeding, and there was a lot of bad things. I don't want to mention all of them, but 13 witnesses against me in that case for preaching and for the insulting Holy Prophet. I never saw them. I never met them. And they came to the court once, and I saw them there, and I went to them and I spoke to them. I asked them, tell me, when did you see me? When did I say that? And when did I preach you? And why are you here for false evidence, false witness? You're not witness. I never said anything to you. I don't know you. They said, no, you're right, but still we go into the court and we, on oath, will witness against you.
Good heavens.
Yeah. At that stage, I decided to leave the country. It's not easy.
No, but you were in dire danger, though, weren't you? You could have.
Yeah, I had 3 sons. My family. So I decided to leave the country.
And what year was that you did that?
It was 98.
1998. And so you'd made the decision to leave the country. What
I made the decision. Somehow people from my story was written and was published and was in different countries, in different magazines of Human Rights Commission and those things. Some people from Human Rights Commission, they came and they interviewed me. And somehow they organized my visa for Australia.
Okay.
And
so once they started to pay attention to you, then yes.
So they say that they are going to hang this man. So they came to my home and interviewed me.
And they
organized
the visa, etc.
And I fled.
And did you have the opportunity to bring your family with you, or did they?
Yeah, my 3 sons, my wife.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah, I left my old mother, my father, other family members, sisters and brothers.
And the visa, how long did it take to get that?
It was quick.
Quick.
Because I was in danger.
Yes, you were. Yes, indeed. Indeed you were. It speaks a lot about corruption in the court as well. You're fortunate that some judges weren't. We're prepared to say...
look, there are good and bad people everywhere, but I was fortunate that there was a good session judge, and the High Court was good. So they kept my bail. They confirmed it.
Okay, so you got your visa. We're coming up to a break, so we won't go into too much detail on this, but you got your visa, and then how did you leave the country? Was it through the normal channels?
Very secretly.
Secretly,
very
was it?
Yeah, very secret. I left home without telling anyone, even my closest friends and my relatives, they didn't know. And I worked last day, and next day I just...
You were gone?
Caught a train. I went to Karachi, which is far away from my home, and I caught a flight from there.
Well, we'll catch a flight now because time's out for the moment.
Thanks.
We'll take a break. Back in a moment.
We've all seen this one time or another. We may even have done it ourselves. But inhaling balloon gas is very dangerous and can be fatal. The helium in balloon gas acts as an asphyxiant, and when you inhale, it displaces the oxygen in your lungs. Balloon gas is safe in balloons and when you release it in a well-ventilated area and in a safe manner. So the next time you see some sucker about to inhale balloon gas, or you think it's going to be a laugh, stop and be gas-wise.
1 in 5 of us are affected.
10% of us will have at least one.
And the numbers double for Indigenous Australians.
Just as quick as a click of your fingers, it can happen to anyone at any time.
What would you do if someone close to you was having a seizure?
Imagine if it was your child.
My brother has it. My sister has it.
I have it.
I have it too.
You're not alone.
You're not different.
And you have a bright future ahead of you.
So click for kids.
I'm Amy Lee, and I'm part of it.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Daddy's gonna sing you a lullaby. When you're sleeping safe and sound, you've got the proudest dad in town. I remember when I first saw you, your heart beating as you grew. We'll read you stories to help you dream. Your mommy and I are a perfect team. I can't wait to hear you sing or watch as you put on a wedding ring. One day you'll have children too. Remember the times I sang to you.
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and we're speaking with Dr. Malik Mohammed Majoka, general practitioner, and he's an office bearer with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Australia Victorian chapter, and we're exploring quite an emotional refugee story. Malik, you go to Karachi.
Yeah.
And you get on an aircraft.
Yeah.
What happened then?
As the aeroplane took off, we felt safe. And that was good. So arrived Australia, and that looked us like a safe haven. But you know, it's not easy working in a profession, having good qualification and good skills and very stable life.
Yes.
When you go to new country, new place, you lose everything. So my degree was assessed. It's same. It's a British system in whole India, Pakistan, UK, and here. It's the same degree with same level of skills. They assessed my degree as equal to Australian degree.
Yes.
But I wasn't allowed to work. So I had to go through all the AMC exams and language skills and tests and all things. It was good. I love Australia. I respect Australians, all Australians who accepted us.
Yes.
It's heaven. Good people. So I started working hard. We had help from community and from government, but I had to work. I had to study. So I did a few years of work hard, and I qualified. I did all the exams, and I was lucky to get a job here. I'm working as a doctor in Australia more than 10 years now.
All right.
So I worked in quite a few hospitals, had a good experience, and I'm very fortunate. Wherever I worked, anywhere, people loved me, they respect me, and I had a very good time in all hospitals. And then I decided to go into general practice.
Yes.
And for last few years, I have been working in general practice. Happy with my staff, happy with my patients. They love me, I love them, and living very happy life. But journey, living from your homeland, you forced out of that, starting new life, a lot of hard work.
Yes.
I lost my father a couple of years after arrival. So those things which so traumatic, you can only feel. You can't describe it.
There's a seed of sadness which will be with you forever.
But it is heaven for me and heaven for a lot of other people who came from different countries as a refugee, from different faiths. Ahmadiyya Muslims are very lucky that quite a few of us, they got refuge here and living very peaceful life, working hard, contributing to the community. By community, I mean to Australia,
yes,
to the country.
The whole, yeah.
And as a faith group, we're living together. We're doing a lot of things, a lot of charity, and a lot of good things for Australia. As we got a lot of things from Australia, it's our duty to pay back.
Yes, yes.
I have 3 sons. They were little when we came here, 4-year-old, 7-year-old, and one 8-year-old. They did very well at school. They're good boys. And all 3 are in uni. One doing medicine, one is doing science, degree in science, and one is doing double art degree. And very much involved in uni, doing politics, and they're very good speakers. They can speak. They're not like me. So they're good. I'm happy.
Yes.
I'm a happy man.
Yes.
And nowadays I'm working in the general practice, which is for that general practice is for Indigenous Australians. You can look at my tie.
Oh, of course, yes.
And that was my passion, and I'm happy that I'm doing something for the real owner of the land.
That's right.
So those are the people. This is their land, and we are living very good life, and they are still in miserable situation. They are not. They're not good, and I'm doing my part. I'm trying to help them, trying to treat them, trying to educate them. And good thing is they love me. They're very shy people.
Yes.
As they started working there, they were not looking at me. But now we are developing some friendship.
Yes.
And they come and see me, we sit and we chat, and so I'm doing something for them. And that's good.
That's a very important thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Because some might say that the Aborigines are refugees in their own country, and that's you're recognising and helping them with that. Yes,
I am.
I had not seen your tie, but I've got to say it's very good. And so, what's the area that you're working at? Where is it? Out in Dandenong or?
No, it's Marvel. Gippsland.
Okay.
Marvel.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Yes, well, of course, there's more Aboriginals there. There's quite a few Aboriginals in Dandenong as well.
Yeah.
So how does that, how do they present, we'll just talk about that for a little while, about how they present with health issues. Do you find that the level of service to them is lower, that you've got?
Look, to comment on all these things is a bit hard. It's complicated. Government is doing best as they think they're doing. They're spending a lot of money. Doctors and staff and clinics have been set, and transport is there to bring them to the doctors. And CTG has closed the GAP program, and government spending money on that, so they don't have to spend us 1 cent on their medicine. Everything is free.
It's free, yeah.
But other side of the picture is they are not educated. They have no knowledge about their illness. They're a bit careless. They don't care about their medical condition. So we have to contact them. We have to send the transport. Still, they will refuse. No, I'm not coming today. So,
yes, it did. Yeah, that could be frustrating. So it's interesting. Your whole process is losing your own country, finding a country, and then working for the people who are the first people of this country. It's a very interesting
this is my country now.
Yes.
It is when you're a refugee, when you come from other country, from somewhere, and your color and your shape is a bit different, and people say, no, he's not Aussie. So. But my children, myself, this is our country, first country.
Yes.
We're living here. It's part of my faith.
That's right.
To love the country where you have peace, you have honor, you are working, you are being looked after. So that's your country.
Thank you, Malik. That's been inspirational. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
You've been watching Harmony and Diversity, and next week we'll be back with another subject. Bye for now.
Baha'u'llah, Shanti Om, Allahu
You're there when they can't sleep. You're there when they forget. But who's there when they're at school? Asthma can be serious. It affects 1 in 10 Australians and claims 400 lives each year. Does anyone at your school know what to do in an asthma emergency? Log on to asthmafriendlyschools.org.au and find out if your school is asthma friendly. Shouldn't every school be asthma friendly?
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
The following program carries an MA classification and may contain adult themes and coarse language. MELfeed.video advises that it is suitable for viewers aged 15 plus.
I'd do a Morris poem. It's called Getting There, and I think it's about being an artist. I'm not sure. It's getting there. You have to be in a good mood or a very bad mood. Get run over by a truck. That helps. In the continuity of life, nothing much happens, but it all adds up. You can't do sums, only got fingers and thumbs. Glass was invented, but not to look through. Pretend it isn't there. Cuts the unwary. Blood is the most unnatural liquid. not supposed to be outside. Poetry's supposed to be nice, but you're not. Sometimes, lying in bed, thumping in your ears, orchestra of waves, hot and twisted, flocks of pigeons leave your shoulders, cock crows before dawn. A forest of servants arrives at first light wearing white, lays you down again. Honeycomb bees, you go into orange, like the aqua we all come from. In between the blackness, black and white photos, more realistic, but your life is not a doco. In the vocabulary of your eyes, you pose crimson. This is how it is. This is how it will be.
Did Julia Gillard ever get round to declaring an election? Are we going to have an election? What is this? Anybody? Good to know that somebody watches the news and I don't. This is an election speech on behalf of a very, very important demographic. Good afternoon. I represent the poodles of Australia. And with regret, I must report the systematic failure of parliamentary poodleists to make a public stand against the anti-poodleism that runs throughout this land. In many homes and many towns throughout this once great nation, my fellow poodles are in chains awaiting liberation from anti-poodle practices that keep in subjugation my once proud poodle pedigree. Oh, the humiliation. There is above all else one thing of which we must be freed, a new and deadly force which does oppress our noble breed. Barbaric barbers everywhere who feed our owners' passion for that most horrible of things. God help us, poodle fashion. The barber cuts and snips and chops and curls and dyes and crops and clads us in a tartan vest and turns us out like fops. Our owners, pleased and proud, parade us up and down the street and sit to chat in coffee shops and feed us meat-free meat. Enough, I say. It's time the world knows of our poodle plight. It's time to raise our paws and claws. It's time to stand and fight. And with our legal beagle friends and with Chihuahua power, we will regain our liberty. Poodles, this is our hour. Woof, woof, woof.
This is a short one. I wrote this on waiting on a crowded bus in a traffic jam on a wet winter's day. His face presses the window. Waiting for his stop, he fingers the halo of mist around his mouth, almost drawing pictures. An eye, a nose, perhaps, but a smile would be too revealing. A smile might whisper to the crowd pressing in where he's from, where he's going. He wants to be somewhere he can see inside his own interior instead of looking out through a cold and misty eye into congested city veins as they hemorrhage, bleeding down footpaths, spirals around drains. Our nature is to flow, and although he judges harshly, his judgments are subject to the same laws and will in due course also change. The city does not belong to him nor he to it. Neither king nor servant, he's just there in its midst, waiting for a wheel to turn, ignoring the windows weeping tears on their way to far-off crops. Waiting for the drawing of pictures to reveal He doesn't know what, but anything at all could mean something. Waiting for a crowd of mouths to tell him what he may not want to hear. Fingers in the air, feeling for change while he's waiting for his stop. Thank you.
Behind every great athlete, there is a great support network. Australian Athletes with a Disability and Wheelchair Sports Australia help athletes realise their full potential.
Gonna go from 3. Yes!
No matter their ability, we're there to support them. Sporting opportunities for all abilities. For more information, visit sports.org.au.
Australian women need to kiss more. Watch out for persistent and unusual symptoms, as they could be a sign of ovarian cancer. Know the important signs and symptoms. Kiss. Look out for symptoms like abdominal or back pain, difficulty eating or feeling full quickly, or persistent bloating, or a change in toilet habits. If you're experiencing persistent and unusual symptoms for more than 14 days, see a GP. Make sure you kiss regularly.
Transports of Distant Delight is a mixed selection of transportation pictures from here and there and almost everywhere, but not quite. Some quirky, some mundane, some from the past, perhaps reflecting a transit system that has vanished into history, and some from thriving transport entities that continue to endure despite the constant pressures from the all-pervasive motorcar. Enjoy.
Dream. For Franz Schubert, the Austrian composer, 1797 to 1828. He wrote some of his finest music in the last 5 years of his life when he was dying, most probably from syphilis. There was no known cure. The schoolboy hats with Prussian wings bob down the hallway like a stream to the front door. Outside, the boys shout and fling their hats into the air, cheering at their escape. The joy of it surging back to the principal's door. My father, a block of disapproval. The sound falls shut. I am a teacher between classes in the dark hall of my father's school. The boys rush out of classrooms, banging and elbowing their satchels against the wall, falling quiet at my father's abrupt commands. I lower my head, covering sheets of music with the melee of sounds in the hall. My father waits like a statue in the corner, points to my classroom door, too angry to speak. I have no order in the classroom. The boys erupt as I enter. Their laughter and silliness spill out of the windows. I pluck notes like ribbons from their wake. Puddles leak across the floor of this treatment room, swell in the flare of the fire. The pipes hiss and drip. A bath of sulphur to settle the sharp knife of headaches. Copper gnaws at my skin. Still, I remember all that drips warm, even these poisonous berries from you, my old friend, who have dumped me in this madhouse for diseases that ebb and flow. Write, you said, showing me poetry I hadn't learned in school. I shut the door on my father, travelled from room to room, the music sheets piled up on my bed. I would lie in and write, no money coming in, except from friends and the very rich with daughters, their long necks swaying above the piano. I harvested songs in my hands, a backwash of sheets, scattered or lost. I heaped others into the back of the wardrobe till the red bruises climbed above my high collar, and you, my old friend, recoiled from me. Those days still nestle in my hands. My old teacher dragging his long face up the stairs, past the stains of my body to the pile of sheets. He stares and weeps. I sweep them into his hands. Take them, I say. Here I live for the notes still warm on my skin. I will only lose the sheets, as I have lost all my other loves. My father unbends to press his tentative ear to the stream, shouts that you, my old friend, have led me to the door of this death. I hear only my father's fear of where the stream will take him. Thank you.
This is called Politics. Key poet. This man who listens too much with his neck, he prefers some marrow with his flesh. One brain walking along a path in the direction of reversibility. A child with eyes like marbles and an elephant on a grey beach. When she ascends to her throne, bury her with a singing piece of paper. As silent as a fish, I control the falling stairs. Cheers. It's an old one. It's called You and I. You fed my heart with streams of heat. You showed me slow dripping tropical time. You wrote me your letters on paper like linen. You turned yourself towards the sun again. You placed your hand on my forehead so I could sink into a womb. You hid the daylight in the morning for me. You listened to my groaning without wincing. You offered me the mystery of a naked face. You kissed me like a thirsty peasant. You let me keep sleeping when you went off to work. You bathed your neck in the sweetest scents for me. You bid me fuck you like the devil. You gave me an ocean to play in. I made you cry in doorways. I fell asleep in the field of your hair. I tenderly kissed the throb of your arches. I tried not to flirt with anyone else. I turned up at the door with decent wine. I talked when I didn't want to. I punched the wall and went for a walk. I drank the balm of your salty honey. I waited without looking at my watch too often. I ate from your hands. I held your sobbing body until you slept. I felt with my fingers in the darkest place of light. I knew you once.
Okay. 2 short writings based on the theme of love. One night. My head is numb. Shadows haunt. People oblivious. Cruise on by. Laughing, playing, holding hands. Inside, I weep. While sitting, sweating, staring too at neon lights, mini-skirted night delights. No twitches felt, no dreams to dream. She won't leave me be. Thank you. Something I wrote back in 1989, and I've got to read it different now because of this. It's called Fucked. Fuck you, woman. You fuck me still. My thought is fuck it, still of you. You fuck my cock and you fuck my brain, fucking time and time again. I fucked you back. Orgasms proved that. Fucking good time you fucking had. Fuck it. All good things must fucking end. Why the fuck couldn't we blend? So fuck it. My head is fucked. Fucking thinking of forgetting you. Thank you.
Every time you shop, the choices you make affect our community. It is important to select Australian products made by Aussie-owned companies.
Our food security means quality and peace of mind.
Your purchasing power keeps your dollars multiplying in our economy, keeping jobs, profits and decisions being made right here, which is better for your children.
So the next time you buy, look for the AusBuy logo. It makes all the difference.
Stop! Hold it right there. Have you done your pool safety check? Maintain the barriers, check the gate, and never leave anything that can be climbed on near the fence. Have you brushed up on your CPR skills? And don't tempt kids with toys. Tidy up.
Is that all?
When kids are around the pool, keep watch. They need your attention all the time. Okay, in we go.
Download your free home pool safety checklist and help Royal Lifesaving make this weekend your home pool safety weekend.
I'd like to dedicate my reading today to Shelton Lee and Bon Scott. Now, why would I be doing that? No fucking idea. No, they're both sort of similar in some way, I was thinking this morning. Sort of that vagabond, hurt vagabond, very intelligent thing about them both. I'll just start with an ordinary poem called Week to Week. You sort of need a poem you're kind of a little bit fresh with, if you know what I mean. Yep. Just a daggy, ordinary, kind of take it out of the back room poem.
Give it to us, Morris.
Week to week. Giselle leaves me notes. Dad, you weren't here, so I've gone up to... Dad, you weren't here, so I've gone up to Brunswick with Rachel. Back at 7, approx. Put food for tonight in the fridge. Listen to Philip Adams. Play solitaire or jazz ball. project for the moment. Read only books written before 1960, when classics were taught. As a serial library books non-returner, I'm sorry, I am really. This fits in nicely with what op shops offer. It's hard to make a mistake. 5 books equals about 2 gourmet pies. So what if my cupboard's filling up with crystal glasses for a party I'm never going to hold, and I now own 20 dictionaries? Cook tea, fight with Giselle momentarily. It's always like that when she comes back to me. Then we slip into routine, which means leave each other alone, but with warm regards. We're pretty cool on a tram, and we're both aware of it. She is beauty and I'm experience. My face is like a 1980s Melways. We're not snotty about it. We don't boast or make a show. Mostly it's a shared sense of humour. She's chatting on the phone. I play songs over and over on the computer. The TV is running, but nobody's watching. Tomorrow she's going to cost me money. I can feel it in my bones. Neighbour's dog has stopped barking, finally. Light another horizon. $7 a day.
Sanctuary. Under the silkworm leaves, a dappled light played on porcelain skin, the child inspired. Shallow breeze, the branch quivered like a feather. The breathing deepened as the plucked berries brushed lips, and the tongue responded to the deep flavours of rich juice. Her fingers became purple stained, as did the tongue. She sought solace from higher sunwards, closer to the light, from a big sky, Wimmera blue. The earth, yellow and sandy loam, easily ploughed, rested beneath. She did not fancy figs like her father, nor was fond of quince, only good for paste or jam. Mulberry was her solace under summer sun, when the weather was too intense and tempers flared. There was no water to cast a reflection of the narcissistic here, just a green canopy of perfumed leaves. The silkworms were spinning their cocoons under her bed, the poetry hidden in her pillow. Words echoed down her mind as if stirred in pots and pans over fire. Her skin reddened by shouting and slapping, cooled in the canopy of calm fruit. Mulberry, that purple fruit with leaves, serrated on the margin.
I'll read the first poem in my book, Half Our Country. That's it, put it on the television. Quiet Time Levitation. I live in a welter of fever, alcohol and herbs. The antibiotics refuse to kick in. At her place, a Tuscany garden, but across the lane that air conditioner keeps on humming. At my place, the speed merchants think they're still in Port Phillip prison, clatter down the stairs with attitude. Not much peace, except at meal times. Her music or mine? She takes out her contacts in the bathroom whilst I try to heal my teeth. She locks the cat inside. It roams the hall like an out-of-work actor with glass green eyes. Domestic business, like the contents of her handbag, is complicated. I sweat some more in the bedroom. Sometimes she's the hammer and I'm the anvil. Wax earplugs punch out the party animals, but not my snoring. Some mornings we're both so tired we stumble round toothpaste owls wrapped in towels in between radio programs. But then we make our bowls of coffee and float off into the half hour of quiet time levitation.
He knows each secret that manifests each scar that wants to be discovered. He feels each breath that cannot breathe because its will is smothered, and every word that dances, although it is beautiful, bold, takes chances. It is frail and incompetent. He knows I know I'm a fraud, ashamed of being human, ashamed of being bored, but perfection nonetheless. A tiny fragment of universe beneath my evening dress. And he loves the truth between the lies. He hugs the child inside the thighs, the shapely thighs caught in the web of womanhood. And he says, let us write words in the sand because we can, because we have hands. Let us sculpt each other and discover skin. Our bodies will know when it's time to begin. Let us swirl in kaleidoscopic quilted dreams. Let's get and jump into fast flowing streams. Let's get carried away so we can save each other, pull each other from the flood. May we see the child wet and vulnerable, unafraid of mud, once more boundless in the face of death. Thanks.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Steve and Jacqueline here for the Commonwealth Bank Home and Garden Expo.
Let us in. Hi, it's Steve and Jacqueline here from 15 Fabulous Minutes.
And we're here for the Commonwealth Bank Home Show and Garden Expo.
Let us in.
Hello and welcome.
Oh, thanks. So let's go in.
Or casseroles for that matter, so there are no need for this transit and some shopping board. Well, let's say you're having a barbecue. You can place it on each plate if you like, because you got everything in your hands. So why not a little bit for Peter, a little bit for Annie and Thomas? Oh, he don't like slices, he would like to have sticks. It's not a problem. Up with the knives and he gets sticks and he will stay happy. Back to zero again. Onion, it's not a popular thing to cut, but now you really don't need to touch it at all. Thanks to the nails in the safety holder, everything sticks there and stays there till you don't need it anymore. And look at the slices. Thin, fine onion rings, and that's not easy with a knife to get proper rings. I mean thin and still unbroken.
A whole bunch of different things that you actually have to put together and take apart all the time. All you have to deal with is the switch button.
It dices.
It slices.
It chops.
It lops. Probably not just vegetables.
That's what you can get at the home show.
Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Well, it's a lot of hard work here at the Commonwealth Bank Home Show and Garden Expo. Nothing a bit of a mass. Oh my gosh. That's nice. Have you had a good day today?
Yes, thank you.
What do you think about this shiatsu massage? Feels great, doesn't it?
Wonderful.
Yeah, so how long do you think you'll be sitting in this chair today?
Not much longer. I don't think.
No, because I'm not getting up. That's for sure. I think I'm going to stay here. So have you got many good ideas?
About 5 minutes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the chair?
In the chair. Work from the top all the way down.
So have you found any good ideas from today's show?
Yes, lots of to spend.
Lots of money to spend. So what do you think you'll be spending your money on?
Don't know.
No, something at Slices and Dices?
No.
No?
No, more furniture.
Oh, okay. Sort of like indoor or outdoor, actually?
Indoor.
And any really good ideas you picked up?
You can find everything from a bathtub to the kitchen sink here at the home show, and this is the deluxe bath, a high back and just soak away. It's a good 6 foot long. I fit in here just snugly. Just need the water. You know, I've got to call that plumber again. It's always the problem with the water.
If you're interested in pots and pans, these really are quite tremendous. The handles go into the oven. They're aluminium, which distributes the heat, and I'll talk about that later. But they're impregnated with a non-stick coating, which means they don't stick and they keep your food untarnished by metallic flavours and things like that. So they're a great product, Duralux. Let's get cooking. Do you have a copy of the recipe? Okay, if you do, you can sing along with me, but if you don't have a copy, you can get one later out the front, later, all right?
Over 550 exhibitors here at the home show, attracting a crowd of over 150,000 people over the entire week. And the reason they're here is exhibiting the latest and greatest products on the market. And one of the new products here is a sit on this trendy toilet seat. That's right, your bathroom does not need to be boring and white porcelain anymore. No, look at this fantastic toilet seat. And it goes from everything from seashells to jelly beans. Actually, I'm busting. Charlie Crocker, how much does this toilet seat actually cost?
Only $159. At the home show, we're actually giving away a free matching accessory valued at $29.
Now, you've got some very interesting accessories here, actually. You've got hand towels, you've got toilet holders. Anything else?
We've got the lot. We've got the toilet roll stackers, bath plugs, toilet seats with spiders in them, you name it. Just the kind of gift you want for your mother-in-law.
Now, do you ever have any celebrities' faces on your toilet seats?
Yeah, we did Red Simon's actually last year.
Oh, yeah? Did that sell well?
No.
Not even as a toilet seat cover?
I think too many people wouldn't have lifted the lid when they used it.
More important, you buy the safety. Second, you buy the healthy. And third, you buy the happiness for your family. Okay, put in, take out, okay? When you finish doing, just cut it off. Today, maybe your children tell you, Mommy, I don't like to eat veggie. Tomorrow, your children tell you, Mommy, can I have a star for my garnishing? All the things you can use it. 100% like it, okay? Take a look at the knife. 100% like it. Have a look. Yeah, it's okay. From Germany, sorry, and you get a free gift free also.
It's fantastic. What? Obviously. Okay, that's it. I'm not getting up. Steve, here you go. Take it away.
And speaking of the kitchen sink, you've got the deluxe here, you've got the little mini rinse, you've got the big tub, you've got the round tub, you've got everything from the wood covering. Look at that. Use that as a chopping board. Away you go. You're going to demonstrate? What are you going to do? No, don't scratch the surface.
Not do anything. It's just wearing the book away.
It just comes off like that. That's amazing. Durable, look at this. We just scratch their surface for them and off it comes. It's like you really need to do that at home, yeah? Yeah.
Notice if you've got heavy cast iron cookware, things like that, you can just bring it off the cooktop and put it straight onto the surface.
Without burning. What's this surface made of?
It's made from 80% crushed granite that's bonded with acrylic resin.
Fantastic.
Granite that makes it so durable. Acrylic resin bonds it to make it so that it's a totally non-porous, hygienic surface.
I'll take two. Thanks. Wrap them up.
First of all, the onions. Peeled onions, and I want to slice them. I'll show you how I slice onions so I get nice, even little things. Once I split them down the centre, can you see through the mirror? No problem. Then the core end where it joins, I just flip that out, okay?
And what knife does Jeff Stans use? None other than a Fury Technics knife, which Stephen Bruce here designed. Australian design, Stephen?
Yeah, Australian design, universal appeal.
taking off worldwide. We export these knives to 7 different countries now. So in only 3 years of being on the market, we're into America, Canada, the UK, Italy, France. It's going fantastic.
And an Australian success. Now, you've got lots and lots of knives and lots of options here. If you're starting out in the kitchen, what's the most important knife? Which is the one Elo Supremo knife to purchase?
Well, I believe the 8-inch chef's knife. This is one of the best knives you can possibly get. It does a multitude of tasks. You can actually use it for cutting, chopping. You can fillet fish with that. You can do all your meats with that. It's just a fantastic knife. It gives you excellent board knife. It's fantastic on the board.
Would Lorena Bobbitt actually recommend that knife?
I reckon you could chop something like that off as well. No worries at all.
One fell swoop.
Yeah, one foul swoop straight through the meat. There's no worries at all.
Bandito's Chili Company here, and we get these little corn chips now. Please explain what you got here along here.
Well, we have little heat ratings on all the cards.
Heat ratings.
So we've arranged them from mild all the way to wild. So this is the milder side, and these are the vegetable-based relishes. We've got mild, medium, and hot. We've got a green one, which is loaded with coriander and lemon juice and things. These are pickled jalapenos. They're starting to get pretty hot. They look intimidating, but they're not that bad.
They're not that bad.
Have a go at those.
They look like, what are they actually though?
It's a jalapeno is a type of chili. It's a green chili.
It's pickled.
Yeah, and it's been pickled. Just brilliant. Splash that into pastas or salads and things. Just
sweet.
Yeah, it is quite sweet.
Oh, a bit hot.
It's done in a natural herb vinegar, and it's just beautiful. Then this is something new to our range.
New.
Yeah,
Peewee.
Peewee is a kiwi fruit and habanero chili. So it's sweet and
kiwi seeds in it.
Yeah, because it's got kiwi fruit and habanero chili. So it's sweet and hot.
Oh yeah.
And that's great to marinate things like chicken and fish. Just beautiful. Then down this end, we've got concentrated chili sauces. So what we've done, we've just taken 4 different varieties of chilies, ground them down into a little pasty sauce, and poured them into a bottle, and they're just intensely hot.
Now, is the green hotter than red, or it doesn't make any difference?
What happens? These two, that's a green jalapeno. When it ripens, it reddens. It becomes a red jalapeno. It gets a little sweeter and a little hotter. That's a peri-peri, little sharp heat. So now you'll notice all the little bottles have little heat ratings on them. So it gives you an idea. And I think these days we need these things, especially when you're getting up to sort of a 9 out of 10.
10 degrees, 12 degrees.
9 out of 10. Yeah. So, and that's the peri-peri. That's brilliant to marinate things like chicken and shellfish with. Just mix it in with some olive oil, lemon juice and honey. Then out this end, we've got the almighty habanero. Now this is arguably the hottest pepper grown. 10 out of 10. It should actually show 11 out of 10. It's just phenomenal heat.
That's the hottest.
It's awesome. It's the hottest chili.
Now,
that's sort of a time bomb.
Do you put a little bit in or a lot? Get a little.
Yeah, you need a lot. You really need a lot.
Get the flavour,
Yeah.
okay.
Have a good go on that. And you'll notice a little sweet flavour, and then the heat sort of creeps up on you, and then it hits you really hard, and and then your eyes start to bleed, and you develop a little sweat on the brow. It's just phenomenal. You'll leave your voice for a while.
What up?
And it's about this moment you ring the bell and you fly over to the first aid station.
Okay.
And you get some delicious all natural cordials.
See, these are tears. These are real tears. That's not hot. Come on with water.
Absolutely awesome.
Okay, I can't ask you any more questions because I can't talk.
Here I am on the very nice stand at the Home and Garden Expo with Lucy, and Lucy's cooking up a storm here with the latest and greatest barbecue, the buffet outdoor kitchen barbecue. Got any new wow amazing recipes for us, Lucy?
Oh, at the moment, as you see, we're cooking a roast beef with some vegetables right in the middle of the pan.
You're cooking a roast on a barbecue. I know it's Sunday, but that's ridiculous. Is that what you can do with barbecues these days?
It's the new invention, what they've come up through. You can even deep fry in there. I'll be deep frying in there a bit later on.
So you can have chips with your roast then?
Chips with your roast? Anything you like.
What are you cooking now?
I'm cooking a roast beef. Roast beef with roast potatoes, roast carrots, onions. There's chicken satay skewers, marinated vegetable skewers, and barbecue pork.
It's called the Lord of all chilies. Try it. Takes a few seconds to kick in. Still waiting.
Oh, mine's still burning.
Oh yeah. Feel it from here.
More
all the way
water.
to here.
Cleans those sinuses, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're turning a bit red.
Yep. Sweat on the brow, tears in the eyes, fire on the tongue.
How do you cool it down?
Cordial, alchemy cordial. It's the only option here.
Now this is a bath. In fact, I'm actually in heaven, am I, Don? I'm in hydro heaven.
Absolutely. This is a hydrotherapy style spa. Against your back, where you're sitting there, we've got some mini jets to massage your back.
I've had one of those today, actually. It was fantastic. So,
Very therapeutic.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got 2 jets for the ladies' thighs. The first set here that you can see.
Can I lose weight with that? Is that like one of those massage lose weight things?
No, this is purely from a therapeutic massage point of view.
Okay, then fine. I'll have to still get liposuction, all right?
Certainly would. A little bit more than the spa bath. Then you have the next set of jets are for your calves. So you lift your feet up and it massages the back of your calves. Then you have the 2 jets in the front. Now they're slightly different, you can notice, to the others.
Yes.
They are pulsating jets
Right, pulsating jets. That sounds interesting.
for your feet.
For your feet.
Do you know where all your nerve ends are in your body?
No, I didn't actually.
In your feet.
Oh, right.
So these actually massage your feet. So it gives you a complete back, side, calf and foot massage.
I love you, but I do.
You're very fishy.
You're watching the Royal Melbourne Show, making a hit for 15 fabulous minutes.
But now roll him up. Jacqueline's going to have a go and see if she can beat me. But guess what? She got the mini hammer. Look at that, the mini hammer. It's the ladies' hammer.
Lady hitter.
Everybody run!
Here we go, watching everybody. There it goes, 101, we have a
Come on, Jacqueline, let's go on the Mad Mouse.
No way.
Come on, the Mad Mouse.
No way.
Oh, what are you, chicken?
Yep.
How was it?
It was unreal.
Yeah, feeling a bit sick?
Fantastic.
How many times have you been on it? Once. You coping okay?
Yeah.
What about you? You finding it all right?
Yeah.
Not too bad? Going back again? There you go. And she's too chicken.
So what's this ride called?
Yeah, it's called The Hangover.
This must be one of the scariest rides of the show.
Yeah, definitely very scary, yeah.
What are the top 3 scariest rides?
Hangover, Claw, and the chairlift.
Okay, let's see how people enjoyed it then. Did you enjoy that ride? No, you can't say you enjoyed it. You were going to vomit. I saw you. I saw you. You were bursting in tears.
It was okay.
You going to go for another ride?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I heard the Claw is really nice and quiet and simple and you'll love it. It's a very gentle ride, so go on the Claw.
And off they go. I think they've left Dad behind here. Now, have a talk to the ski lift operators here. Here comes the next. Quick, hurry, hurry. Oh, that could have been ours. How many people do you put on a seat here?
2 a seat.
And how many people the whole day have you gone through?
Thousands.
Thousands. Are you getting all excited?
Yeah. I'm here with Monica at the Royal Melbourne Show and you're thoroughly enjoying your day?
Yes, I am.
So you're here with the family?
Just my son and my husband and 1 granddaughter today.
So have you invested in any show bags? What have you got here today? You bought anything? Or you brought your lunch?
Yes, we actually have.
Is that because it's pretty expensive, is
I
it?
think that's probably so, yes. Not that I've investigated the prices, but...
Now, you're going to go on any rides?
No, I've given that up.
And there's always the cooking shows. Delicious.
We don't have that with sprouts. We're going to make sure we have nice, quick cooking, and they're lovely and tender, they're juicy.
We're here in the Fresh Produce Pavilion, and we've got some mandarin juice. And a lady over there wants to make a purchase. Would you like to buy some mandarin juice?
3 thanks.
Absolutely. 3 thanks. There you go. So what do you think is going to be nicer than orange juice?
I tried it last year. It was fantastic.
Okay. And you haven't tried it since?
No.
Oh, there you go. It's an annual treat then.
That's right.
Although I do believe it's going to be in the stores shortly.
In 6 months' time, it should be in the stores. Yep.
Now it's honey murcot mandarin juice. So what's the difference between this and orange juice?
Just mandarins and oranges, different fruits. Yeah, this is a lot sweeter.
Now, have you actually heard the news? It's been reported that some of the animals were broken loose at the other end of the showgrounds here, and I was just kind of wondering, where'd you get your meat from?
My meat came from Bendigo, yes. Anton Vale venison is from Bendigo.
Bendigo venison.
Nothing wild here? Nope, they're all on the barbie.
They're all on the barbie. These guys aren't getting much chance to run wild around this park, are they?
The healthiest food here.
The healthiest food? What's in the sausage?
Cranksky venison sausages with a bit of cheese, yes, and some saddle steaks, hamburgers and bratwurst sausages. All healthy venison. Yeah.
Venison. What kind of animal is that one? Bambi. Oh, Bambi!
I'm here with Kim and Harriet. Which is which?
Well, I'm Kim and this is Harriet.
Now, what's Harriet doing here at the show apart from getting completely pampered?
Well, she's been in some calf classes and just for her age group and stuff. She won a few second ribbons. She got 3 of them.
Yeah. Is this Olympics for the animals here at the Royal Melbourne Show?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
From sheep.
To wool.
From goat.
To glamour. We're here at the 2000 Wool and Natural Fibre Fashion Show.
Have a look at this one.
Now, what show bags have you got? You've got the Fox FM one. What's in here? It's Come over here, Stephen. Show us. We've got the Fox FM show bag.
What do we got?
That's all you stuff. Yeah. Something for pencils.
Motorbike.
Yeah. You haven't got a Barbie, another show bag.
That's yours, isn't it? The Barbie one. Just exploring into your show bags there, are you?
Just seeing what I had, yes.
How many have you bought today? It's half of the whole trolley.
1, 2, 3, 8.
8 show bags. Do you think they're good for value or not?
No.
No, why's that?
They're full of rubbish.
And how much of that rubbish have you actually eaten so far?
Oh, I haven't eaten anything. It's for the kids.
Oh, yeah, sure. They're all on there playing, and she's going, I saw you going through there eating. Look at that. You've eaten half of that in there, I'm sure. You have. That's okay, Whiz Fizz. What's that? Pop Fizz one. It's got everything in there. So what have you got for yourself?
Nothing actually.
Nothing. So is this more for the kids than for you, or?
Yes. And my husband. This is all my husband.
But don't you find it entertaining for yourself or not?
No, because he keeps having tantrums the whole way around the show.
The husband or the kids?
The kids.
You enjoying the day of the show?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah? You've got some show bags. There must be thousands of them. How do you decide on which ones to get?
It's very difficult because of the price.
Oh, okay.
But we have Star Wars and we have Air Force One. So that's it.
Have you enjoyed the animals here for the kids at the show? Because that's the other side of it.
Yeah, we have. We haven't seen a lot, but we're going to be looking at some more now. Yeah, it's been very good.
What about the ride? You going to get on any?
No, I don't think so.
They look pretty scary, don't they?
I'm not into rides.
No, me neither. Stay on the ground, I think.
I think so. Merry-go-rounds are my little.
So what? Yes, Steve.
You've got a chip on your shoulder.
That's so predictable.
You can see a wood chopper virtually every weekend, every day of the year throughout Australia.
Yeah, I've got my own wood chopper, but you just plug it into the electric cord and away you go. Why would anyone want to do this by hand these days?
Oh, I think it's a skill and what was passed down through the generations, and it's a sort of a great thing in the tradition to keep going.
So you've been passed down from generations to generations? in your family?
Yeah, my father was a world champion, and then I won a few world champions, and now I've got a son competing in the Australian Junior Championships today.
So you'd say your family's got a bit of a chip on their shoulder then, really, wouldn't they?
You could say that, yeah.
Could say that.
Fantastic. Did you win that?
Yes, I did.
What did you do to win that?
Fitted a ball through a hole that was just only a little bit bigger.
Right, are you good at that?
Turns out I am.
What else are you doing here at the show?
Eat a lot.
Yeah?
Yep, go on a few rides.
What's the best ride you've been on?
The Ranger, back over there.
Why's that?
It's good fun, nice and scary.
You like being scared on the rides, though? Otherwise you don't think you got your money's worth.
Well, that's exactly it. That's the point of them, I think.
So have you enjoyed the animals as well?
Yeah, actually I do, yeah. Like all the dogs and cats.
Hey, look at the hand action to Sam are encouraging movement through the moving pool. Good run! Now, through the tunnel. Wait on the A-brace. Okay, that's the boss. Wait. All right. Go, Morgan. Go. All right, now.
Steve, the zipper!
What's wrong with my zipper?
No, the zipper!
Huh? What? No, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with my zipper.
Steve, the zipper, not that zipper.
Oh, the zipper. And of course, one of the most popular stands here is the cake decorating stand. And these are some of the creations people have made, all for display. Yum, yum.
Just wondering what you think about the cakes that are on display here.
Well, I think they're all absolutely stunning because very clever people have obviously made them. But, well, I think they're all very different in their own right. I think the dramatic colours of the chocolate and orange are very stand out. But then, you know, the traditional style with the flowers and ones that people have done for years and years are nice. That's very modern with the purple and black.
Now, you're married?
Yes.
You had a wedding cake. How do you time again? Would you have a different type of wedding cake? Would you have maybe a top hat?
What it was.
Really?
I've got no
It's all got probably a piece to eat, haven't you? You've kept?
No, actually, it was a long, long time ago.
You've done so many interviews. I hardly get any goes. It's always you. You
just want your cake and want to eat it, don't you? I've heard of give us our daily bread, but isn't this just taking it a little bit too far?
Classics of Australian cookery are being displayed here. We've got iced Vovos, we've got yo-yos, we've got lamingtons, we've got some Anzac cookies. That's absolutely phenomenal. Oh, hello. We've got some of the most amazingly well-risen sponges you can possibly imagine. Some chocolate cake here as well. The list just goes on. We've got scones over there. Fantastic testament to Australian cooking.
Now, are you guys tall enough for this ride?
Yeah.
You are tall enough. Now, you've got to be this high.
It's got to be 130 centimetres.
Yeah, stand under there. Are you tall enough?
It's got to be 130 centimetres.
130 centimetres. And how tall are you?
145.
Okay, how tall are you?
139.
And what about you? You don't know. Sorry, you can't go on this ride. You might be sick.
Nah, I won't be sick.
And how many rides have you been on today?
First one, we just got here.
Okay, first day today?
Yep. Yep.
So you're going to get sick?
No.
Must be good then if the person putting the muesli bars in them's buying them.
Air freshener?
Air freshener.
It's got air freshener, it's got some spaghetti pesto sauce.
Got some hand cream.
Oh, I love the hand cream.
New Mother Earth products as well.
Oh, exactly, I found something for you. Mouthwash.
Fantastic. Here, you need that more than I do, Steve.
I didn't think this could happen in Toowoomba. And then I saw it on TV that night. It really opened my eyes.
Whenever the community comes to us and says we need your help, we do whatever we can to assist.
It is a great feeling to be able to help your neighbours, to be able to help your community.
Each Lions member and each Lions club in different parts of the country, we're totally different. But we have core values that are the same. They remain the same for any Lions member and any Lions club anywhere in not just Australia but around the world.
Anything that you can think of that you want to do and support and help, Lions are doing it right now somewhere in this world.
I think Lions need to tell their story. They need to let people know the amazing things that they do.
That's
three major streams that we have in Lions are the community service that we do for the public, health and medical research, and the disaster relief.
We're out there to help people. If you love helping people, get out and help. Join the Lions Club.
We started this project about 20 years ago. All this gear would normally go to the tip. We recycle it and give it to someone less fortunate and where it is needed in the world.
Being a Lion here in Australia means that I can make a difference to my community. But most importantly, it's inspiring other people to get out and be part of their community and make it a safer and a much happier and better place to live.
Childhood cancer, I've always been interested in cancer and small children from the time I first got cancer 30 years ago. Research is an indefinite item. You can't see it, but it helps so much.
I'm here managing the money and the relationships, but other people are out there raising funds and bringing in community support. Without all of us working together, we can't affect change.
2 more extra hands at any function, any working bee, anything we do, 2 more hands can help us raise more funds, can help us serve our community better.
I went to my Lions Club and I said, I got this idea and I think it's a little bit crazy, but I think we could raise some serious money doing it. And it was to run 100 kilometres. And the club said, okay, if you want to do this, whatever you need us to do, we'll be there 100%. And I'm pretty proud to say that together we raised just over $16,000. So we blew the target out of the water, and I think that was due to a lot of the support that I got.
Through my leadership training and all that, I've learned about thinking global and acting local, and Lions Club is definitely that kind of thing. They act within their communities, but the money that they raise can often end up in any corner of the world.
As an individual, I could only do so much, and whilst it was my burning desire to try and help these people, having an organisation such as the Lions family to call upon to support me and those people that were working with me just made it possible for us to achieve so much more.
You know, after the devastation, to come back into the community, you know, you were shattered by what you saw. You know, no police station, no post office, no petrol station, you know, no kindergarten. There was nothing here.
And all that water with an unstoppable.
I don't know that I've ever seen as much as arrived. There were fridges, washing machines, dryers. There was toasters, jugs, just everything.
To be invited to be a part of Lions just opened up a whole new world to me. A world that provided a structured organisation that could see that the hours that I volunteered could achieve so much more.
I think Lions is a wonderful organisation. The people in it have charity in their hearts.
I can go anywhere in this country, see somebody with a Lions badge, walk up to them and say, good day, you got a friend.
Never once in my life had I had a group of people where I could go to, say anything, and know that no matter what, they would be there, they would stand by me.
It's the family. That's what we call it. It's the Lions family. Without Lions, I think I'd be lost now because they've been my life.
We work hard, but the most important thing is we have fun.
The fellowship of all the members of the club, the broader community, it's just a tremendous organisation to belong to. You know, I'll be here till I die.
It is extremely rewarding and gratifying to be a part of an organisation that can spread its support so far and wide.
more members means more hands, means more support to the community.
I would encourage everyone just to give it a go and see if it is for them, because the return that you get for giving to others is amazing.
Get out there, do something wonderful, be part of this fantastic organisation.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, it's MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
They say there's a chance I could die in a car crash, maybe even from heart disease, maybe even skin cancer.
I could die in a work-related accident, or I could die in a fight.
The fact is, the biggest cause of death for men in my age group is suicide.
Please don't let this happen to me.
You can do something. Lifeline believes that suicide is mostly preventable. Help us save lives. Find out what you can do at lifeline.org.au.
MELfeed Video is about to close operations for tonight, but we'll be back with you next Monday evening. In the meantime, here is a selection of programs that will be seen on our next scheduled web stream. You're welcome to visit our website at MELfeed.video for further details of this project. Until next time, from all of us here at MELfeed Video, we wish you a very good night. MELfeed Video is about to close operations for tonight, but we'll be back with you.